Hello, good afternoon. Thank you and welcome to the Micam Future of Retail. This session is especially involved people on this area of the stage, and we will talk about technologies and innovation. The first one already on the floor is Tassos Karavalakis. Karavalakis. Thank you, Tassos. Tassos is head of sales and account director of SafeSize. The company is there with his know-how and product. Tassos, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Today, what I would like to talk about is customer centricity and focus on customer journeys in sports, lifestyle, and kids footwear sectors. And I'm very happy being here. It's the first time that we participate in Micam, so thank you for inviting us and being here. When we talk about when we talk about customer journeys, we cannot not mention omnichannel. And omnichannel, I know it's a buzzword of today, but I believe that omnichannel experience and execution is really, really important. And as we move forward, you see that the lines between physical and online, they are becoming more and more blur. And retailers need to create seamless omnichannel experience that will offer really unique services to the customers. The example that you see behind me is an online retailer who opened physical stores. And one of the key problems that they had is that they wanted to create a super efficient store that you don't see any shoes displayed at all. These stores are located primarily in Poland. And you have a digital display of more than 12,000 articles, and all the shoes are actually on the back of the store. And the customer journey required to implement a 3D foot scanning solution like ours. I'm not trying to do advertising, but just to mention it. And the main objective was to scan somebody within 3 seconds, link a 3D foot profile to your mobile phone, and then browse on these tablets. There are 48 tablets. You select a shoe. They bring you the shoe within 1.5 minutes on average. And if they don't have it in the store, they will bring it in the next 2 hours. This is a really nice experience that you can use both in store and online. And this is a great example of an omni-channel execution. Another key element, of course, is personalization. And personalization comes in different forms. Personalization comes from changing the aesthetics of a product. It can change the shape of a product, of a shoe, where we can customize it, we can put a custom insole to increase its comfort, but it also comes from the fact of personalization in terms of customer experience. We really believe that capturing consumer data and be able to retarget the customer and making sure that the communication is fully personalized is really important. And this is something that I believe it's a really important thing to be focused for retailers and brands. Of course, augmented reality and virtual reality is also really important. It's also part of future of retail. If you want to imagine trying shoes that you can only try today in store, that you can also try them online, I think this is really important to drive an immersive shopping experience that will boost loyalty and conversion. So this is also an important thing to consider. Sustainability, I know it has been mentioned multiple times, but in essence, from my perspective, sustainability is really important to focus on 3 key subjects. One is to use eco-friendly materials, to have a transparent process of manufacturing, and have a brand that communicates these values to the consumers to increase engagement and create this loyal base. Social commerce is something that will play also a significant role. We all follow some people on Instagram, on social media, so social platforms will become more and more powerful. And customer journey on these platforms and user-generated content will be needed and still will play a significant role here. Since we also focus on health and fitness becomes more and more important, data-driven and health tracking technology will also play a role here. What you see here is an example from active sports, not maybe so much for fashion, but we will be using more and more data to connect and understanding how often somebody runs, how often they run, how long they run, and use this type of data either by having input from the mobile devices or from having smart shoes or smart insoles that will integrate this data into the complete customer experience and sales process. Engaging with consumers is also an important focus point. And I think events, even like this one, which is more B2B, I would say, but events, challenges, online forums, they will create a sense of belonging and strengthening the loyalty between the brands and the consumers. One really important and final point from my side on this is subscription models. I really believe that if you take into account a consumer that starts from as a child, then it changes its habits, personal preferences take into account, they start buying lifestyle shoes or sports shoes, etc. So there is an evolution of the customer. It's really important to be able to provide them certain products like we were doing in the past with magazines that you receive every month. Today there is also the possibility to use this data to provide footwear as a service. Imagine that you can take into account the growth prediction of your 3-year-old daughter and receive 1 month before the shoe expires the next shoe. Or imagine in sports where we can take into account how long you run, how often you run, what type of terrain, and actually having the brand sending you the product where it's actually before it goes bad. And that creates this type of circular loop that you can offer sustainability, but also the best product to the customers. That was my last slide, and thank you very much for listening to me, and very proud to be here. Thank you very much.
Super on time, very good. You break the ice, fantastic. Tassos, thank you. I remind all of you that all the person invited today has their technologies there, so after all the presentation, I suggest you to go there. The next one is Henrik Arlestig. Please. Henrik is the CEO of Fibbl. Fibbl is company, of course, is there. He's an extensive entrepreneurial background with Fibbl marking his third venture. Thank you.
So, this the clicker? There you go. I just bought a new pair of shoes, which is a pretty stupid thing to do right before you go to Micam, but I did. And I bought them online. The problem is, I'm not sure if I want to keep them. I'm not sure if I like them. So should I throw them away? Should I burn them? Or should I do what most people do and return them to the online store where I bought them from? The problem with the third alternative is that it's not necessarily better than the first two options. So before we begin, how many of you, by a raise of hands, have seen this picture or a similar picture to it before? For those of you who don't know, this is a small part of what the 92 million tons of fashion waste that is being thrown away in its landfill every single year. 92 million tons. That is the equivalent of a full waste truck of clothes that is being dumped as landfill every single second. As you know, this event is called the future of retail, right? If this is the future, it doesn't look that exciting to me. This is not exciting. My name is Henrik, and like they said, I'm the co-founder of Fibbl, and today I want to share some thoughts that I have and my beliefs on how new technology can take us from this to this. But don't worry, I am from Sweden, but I will not try to turn every single one of you into Greta Thunberg. That is not what I'm going to try to do. But I am going to share my thoughts on how technology can both be impactful for your business while also creating sustainability in the business, especially the online business. And the topic that I've chosen to talk about today is 3D. And 3D is probably something that most of you have heard about, or you looked into it, or you have some association with it. Some of you might even have started working with 3D. And I'm hoping today that I'm going to give you some very practical advice on how you can start utilizing 3D to have a massive impact on your business while also creating more a sustainable environment for the e-commerce. So I hope I'm not going to repeat something that you've already heard, because I want to be very, very practical on how you can use this today, not tomorrow, today. And why have I chosen 3D? Well, first off, it is so versatile. You can do so much with 3D. And I like to categorize it into two different buckets. If you start working with 3D, you can either do it in pre-production, which is before your products have been manufactured. And then you can use digital tools, you can do digital samples, you can do so much to waste or to minimize the waste that is being produced when you are doing a new collection. So this is one way of doing it. I'm not going to talk about this. I have a lot of colleagues that I can refer you to if you would like to know more, if you're not already using a lot of 3D tools in the pre-production phase. What I'm going to talk about is the post-production, when the products have already been produced, and it's more sales-focused, it's more consumer-focused. This is what I'm going to be talking about today. And the reason for that is because, just like I said about my shoes, if I return them, most of that is going to be as landfill. That is a true story. Because if you look at a piece of clothing in a physical store, the average return rate is roughly 1% to 2%. If you look at the same piece of clothing on an online store, the average return rate is 30%. Now, I've been talking to a lot of people, and they say 30% is on the low side. Some of them say that it's 50, 60, sometimes 70%. And the worst of all, those are not being restocked. Most of them are going as landfill, like we just showed before. So, the versatility. So I'm going to talk more about the post-production when it comes to sales and marketing. And the second thing why I'm choosing to talk about 3D is because XR, or augmented reality, extended reality, mixed reality, whatever you want to call it, is one of the fastest growing trends in the e-commerce. Consumers feel more confident in their purchases when they are using augmented reality or XR before they do a purchase. They get to engage with the product. They get to try the products. And as you know, Meta is investing a ton of money. They are investing $10 billion every single year into the metaverse. But I promise I will not talk about the metaverse. I'm going to be way more practical, what you can do here and now. But there is a lot of investments going in. And as some of you probably have seen as well, Nike has sold over $200 million worth of virtual products. Not physical products, virtual products. So the digital world is growing at such a rapid rate, and it is 3D. And I could go through a lot of more things, but this is the summary. 3D is happening. Whether you like it or not, the biggest consumer-facing platforms are investing heavily into experiences that requires 3D. And certainly, and last and certainly not least, the reason I've chosen to talk about 3D is because I believe that it is the perfect Trojan horse to talk about all the things we want to talk about. Increased sales, better revenue, better margins, growth, all of these beautiful things that businesses has to think about, while also sneaking in that sustainability aspect to it, while sneaking in the environmental impact that we have and that we have the responsibility that we have. So those are the reasons why I've chosen 3D. So let's get practical. One of the tips that I want to share with you that we are seeing in a lot of other industries is when you have a 3D model, you can produce product images much faster, much smoother, and that are much more versatile. So instead of using a photographer, instead of investing in a studio, instead of investing in a lot of materials and doing the post-processing that you need, that's a lot of manual labor. But when you have a 3D model, you can digitally produce content and images within seconds. And you can change angles, you can change backgrounds, you can do so many things when you have the 3D model that you don't need the photographer and the traditional studio to do, which saves money and saves time. And this goes both for the brands and for the retailers. So I talked to one of the biggest retailers in Scandinavia, and they expressed their concerns when it comes to producing product images, because they get sometimes product images from their vendors and from their suppliers. But that is a problem, because like he said, I'm not going to read it all, but he said to get the same style, angle, and number of pictures on all of our products is difficult. We at our company have both inside production and also outsource from suppliers, because many suppliers provide low quality, wrong angles, or wrong styles, or do not provide pictures at all. If they had 3D models, this problem could be solved like that. It would be super easy for them to do. So this is one practical advice. And once again, this is already happening. This is already a standard in a lot of other businesses. Look at IKEA. They have stopped doing product photos with photographers because they use 3D models, because it's faster, it's more versatile. So this is one thing. When you start looking into 3D, this is one of the first things you should look into. Minimize the cost for product images. Second thing, something super simple, product videos. Product videos is such a core component when it comes to marketing and when to catching the engagement of the consumer. And you can use this for product videos on in-store, on physical screens, or you can use it on your product page, you can use it in your marketing, you can use it in email, you can use it in social media. And the reason why video is such a simple trick to use is because what I call the TikTok generation, and I'm getting old, so I'm not part of the TikTok generation. But do you guys know how much time the average person spends when scrolling through posts on Instagram or TikTok? About 1 second. It takes them 1 second. It takes us 1 second to decide, do I want to engage with this post or do I want to keep scrolling? Video is such an important tool to engage and to spark interest so that someone wants to engage in your, content. And I'm going to give you a quick example. We did this for one of our clients where we did simple video. Once again, this is supposed to be simple. Don't overcomplicate it. When you have a 3D model, you can produce product videos that are so simple. We did a simple spinner. It was just the product spinning, and they used this for their email marketing campaigns, and it had a massive impact because when they open that email, and you know how much time you spend on making a great title and making sure that you're going to get a great open rate, but when you have a great open rate, make sure that they are captivated. And one of the ways to captivate someone's attention is by moving objects and by video. So this is one of the great things too. When you have a 3D model, not just 2D content, but you can also produce product videos that have a massive impact on people's peak interests. And this had a really good implication on the people's click-through rate to their website, their sales rate. There's so many benefits that are going on from that. Second thing, when you have a 3D model, obviously, you should let the consumers, when they are on your website, interact with the product, spin it around, look at it from every single angle, because that's what you do in a physical store. You are not limited to a couple of images or a couple of angles in a physical store. When you are in the physical store, you pick up the product, you look at it from every single angle, and experience the product and look at the details that you are interested in, not from the few images that are on a website. So, and this is one of the things too. This makes the consumer more confident in their purchase, because they get to interact with the product before they buy it and look at all the details that they are interested in. And to give you also a quick tip for those of you who are looking into 3D, Google is now launching a feature within Google Shopping. I don't think it's released yet in Italy, but I know it is in the US. They are releasing within Google Shopping so that people can experience augmented reality and 3D within Google Shopping. And I promise you, If you are on the ball first on this, when it is being released within your country, you're going to kill it. Imagine seeing your products in 3D and augmented reality while all your competitors are still just using boring 2D images. This is just a quick tip. Take a look at this, read into it, and make sure that you're on it when it's being launched in your country. Second thing, or one other thing, virtual try-on. A lot of you have probably seen this with glasses, you've seen it with shoes. This is also one of the greatest things for people to engage with when they are on your e-commerce, because it once again lets them engage with the product. It lets them try the product. And I bet a lot of you, when you got here, you flew in, and I implore you, when you're flying back, do this test for me. When you are flying back, or next time you're flying, go to the tax-free and look at people buying sunglasses. I bet you will not see a single person buying sunglasses without trying them on. They will try them on before they make a purchase. Of course we want to do that. So why should we expect a different behavior online? Another example that I want to give you as well is Snapchat. We did a trial with Snapchat where we just wanted to use a 3D model on Snapchat on the virtual try-on. And this was 100% organic. We just uploaded it, we didn't pay for anything, we didn't pay for any ads, we didn't do any marketing for it, and we got over 100,000 impressions. That means 100,000 people who tried our shoe on for more than 4 seconds without paying a single dime. So look into this. There's more platforms than Snapchat, but you should look into this. So, as a final remark, I believe when we're talking about e-commerce, that we as brands and retailers, and we as tech entrepreneurs, owe it to our clients to create a customer journey from marketing to purchase that is not only more inspiring, but also allows them to make a smarter purchasing decision. Because if we do that, not only will we increase sales, we will increase margins, but we will also lower this return rate that is ridiculous right now to a point where we can have a more sustainable future, but also reduce the cost that is associated. And why should we do this? I think we should do this so that we can keep the future of retail exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henrik. And Henrik and his team will be available there later on to see the technologies. So, last but not least, Jacopo Thun, please. Jacopo, CEO of Taylor. Ciao. Jacopo is a CEO of Taylor, and he will explain us the future of retail, and later on, also he's be available in the area there.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to be here. I'm very happy and excited because the two friends that have speak before me have said everything about innovation on 3D and a lot of smart stuff. And so I'm happy to see that we are on the same page. Everybody that is doing innovation today thinks that that's the way to improve our experience on e-commerce with 3D and personalization, customization, and that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to explore a new way to make business online with this whole buzzword of 3D, omnichannel, phygital, and so on. So we want to help you to revolutionize the way that we are selling a customized product. What does it mean? It means that the way we have approached the e-commerce until now is, a search page and photos and product pages and then the payment process. And that's boring. It's enough. We need to evolve on this, and move on. Move on where? Looking for growing the business, engage the people, increase the sale, and bring the people that and the business that do not have already the right digitalization of their process on the page that we are now. So what we do is building a platform with process, system, integrated with 3D configuration to bring the customization and the personalization are two different things, as we have seen even before, to improve the customer experience on their digital experience online, but even in the future of our retailers. So why is important the make-to-measure, the make-to-order business model, and why we are pushing that in our solution? Because we think that it's there that we can find the best improvement on sustainability, because the waste, as we have seen, even the speech before, of the industry is huge. And so to start to slow down and have a slow fashion, not anymore this fast fashion that we want everything now after 1 second that we have seen it. Let's have more patience and go to a slow fashion and something that is unique for us. So the experience and the product. So we are talking about omnichannel, a hybrid solution where there is an interaction and a continuity on the online experience and the offline experience in the stores. That is something that we have already done, proved it with some of our customers, and we see that there is a very incredible increase of the engagement of our customer, on their customer, on the journey. So that's something that empower your customer to interact with you in all the way possible, everywhere, always, and directly or digitally. Personalization, we have seen even in the other speech, everybody is talking about that. That's a key point of the interaction with the customer of the future. Not only the retail of the future, but even the customer of the future will want to have everything personalized and customized, because they want a unique experience, a unique product, and something that is only for them. So that's a key point that we need to look at it. Something that is important is let's look at the game world where you have an avatar and you have your skins and you can have your digital clothes. That's the future of way of define your look. So shop by look is another thing that you have to look at to increase your business. Visual look, we have seen the visual try-on, visual look to see the 3D on the stage. Google is implementing it. We have a very important partnership with them, and we are looking for increase and improve the quality and the technology to allow to see your product on the stage. Then data is key. We need to have everything on your hand to see how the things are going, who, what, why the customer are interacting with us and with you. And so this is something that you need to take care, to have the data, and not only to have the data, but to have the information from the data, to understand what is happening, to react as fast as possible. And this is something that you need to have graphically to see the numbers, to see the interaction, to see everything that is happening in your store, and in your touch point with your customers. And then there is the integration part. So it's really important to have the ability to integrate with all the ecosystem that are out there. So we cannot think that it's only our website or your website to make the business. There are the marketplace, everything around. There are the social platforms that need to be integrated to make the experience of your customer absolutely easy and always in the same page. Then, as my colleague said before, it's really important even the background, so the back office, the back end, where you increase the ability to digitalize your product and starting from the materials. So that's something that is key, because if you start there, you will be able to build a very effective 3D object. And that's it, the result. So the model digitalization, bringing everything together, brings to have the 3D that will increase and enhance all the ability to engage your customer. So Taylor is trying to do all of this. It's a huge objective, but if you are interested, we are happy to go in details on that in our stage. Thank you.
Grazie, Jacopo. Thank you for your time. Jacopo and Taylor, as all the other speeches, are in that area, so they are able to explain you something more about the technologies. For today, Micam is over. Tomorrow we will have two new sections, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. The section of tomorrow is called Art, Fashion, Heritage and Future. We will have in the morning a section, Emerging Designers. You can have a preview there. And in the afternoon, we will have a round table with the fashion schools. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.